As you walk through the valley of the shadow of hell, you will realize that there is something ahead. Something that lurks behind the dark veil. A veil that is beyond our own comprehension. Beyond the void.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void Horror Podcast. That's right, Patrick's back, and we're going to be doing a brand new episode of Robot Mayhem. This is episode 145 this week, guys, and we're going to be talking about two movies. One,
Chopping Mall.
And also The Vindicator, which are both from 1986, but we figured we saved the so bad it's good one for last. At least I did.
Right.
Because most of you want to hear what we thought about Chopping Mall first, and we'll save the shitty one for all those hardcore fans out there and friends who like to listen to us like just tear apart a fucking so bad it's good film.
Right. Well, they're both pretty much so bad it's good.
Right, but there's a special brood of hell that has people who made this movie, The Vindicator. It's not that terrible, but I'm just saying there's a difference between the two.
I remember when I was watching it on YouTube, it said like Fox Movies at the bottom. It was like, they actually played this on TV?
Right, yeah, that's the one. Yeah, because that's like it's all been lost. But we'll go over that later. How have you been this week? How's things going? I know we had a short week because we're recording on Tuesday, guys, so that I can cram everything in before I go to the Mad Monster convention this weekend, which by the time you guys are hearing this, I'll have already gone. So
time traveling.
Yes. Man. It's a vacation away from home. It's a staycation.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
We got a hotel room.
You're right next to the casino, right? It's
yeah.
the same place it was last year.
Christina's like, we'll save some money aside, to go gamble because you're really good at it. That's like nothing you should ever say to your significant other, by the way.
It's all chance.
Yeah.
No one's good at gambling.
Well, she says that I always win whenever I play, and she never does.
Oh, that's what Kelly says about me. And it's like, well, I just don't always fucking max bet this shit.
Right. I don't know if I'll be doing all that, but we'll definitely be eating out at some of the restaurant there like a couple of times a day probably because...
They have a bingo hall over there. You want to play some bingo?
Some bingo? Oh, that's right. Last time you went, you were like, we'll see you in a little bit. And then we didn't see you. Like, you were like gone till the rest of the night.
Well, we went to go...
That's what it was.
I wanted to get something to eat. And we walked into that place and like...
Got sucked in.
We didn't even play anything. We did play a little of the machines, actually.
So wait, you went last year, but only for Friday.
Was it last year?
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it was last year.
Wasn't the year before last?
I thought it was this past year.
No, I think it was like 2 years ago we went.
Maybe.
But I know. Yeah, we ended up meeting Sid Haig. Haig?
I don't know. Yeah, something like that.
He's a great guy. Got an autograph from him. Bought a Cramps vinyl.
Yeah, that was last year.
Was it?
I'm pretty sure it was either that or the year before, but yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's the year before, but we digress.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited for it. So I'm going to get Tom Atkins. I'm going to get at least an autograph picture or something. I don't know. I didn't want to pay for the photo op. He's going to be doing it with Adrienne Barbeau.
Okay.
And like somebody else, I think. I can't remember. But yeah, I just like to go to meet some people that like this shit a lot of times. Sure, like meeting all those people, but like it's weird for me because I don't like fanboy over people, and it's always like kind of weird. Like the ones that are really cool to you when you meet them, like that makes you feel so much better.
Right.
The ones that are like weird, and trust me, I'm not giving them shit for being weird because it is weird.
Right. When you got like 100 fanboys coming up to you
like
every day.
You can't. But some people really embrace that shit, and when they do, it just makes you feel so much better about doing that awkward, weird thing. A lot of other people are like, can you sign like these 10 items? Like, here, I brought this sword in, like my buddy has the chainsaw from a chainsaw blade from Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh,
and
really?
He gets every one of the Leatherface or I think anybody that was in Texas Chainsaw Massacre to sign it, which is cool. But lugging that bad boy around, dude, fuck
that. No shit.
Anyway, but yeah, guys, I think it might be that time.
Oh, shit.
Horrorshots! All right, guys, so since we're going to be talking about two movies, Chopping Mall, and we're also talking about the Vindicator, this is probably more towards an ode to the Chopping Mall movie, so I usually pick one over the other.
Right.
But the reason I say that is because the other movie had different type of robot blood than the Chopping Mall did. So I'm like, if we were to do that, that shot would have to be white. This shot is not, because the robot blood in the Vindicator was white.
Right, and it kind of reminded me of when I saw the white blood. It reminded me of, what was that movie called? I Come in Peace.
Oh, yeah. And you go in pieces.
Which
Best
we should totally
ever.
watch that movie.
I have it. I have The Dark Knight. I think we did it before, but we were doing like 5 movies before. Remember when we were like pounding them down?
No, I don't remember watching that for the podcast.
Oh, well,
I maybe with Brittany.
I'd be down to watch it. I mean, it's more of a sci-fi movie, but it's got some really good gore in it. But anyway, so we came up with a robot blood shot, and in this shot, you're going to basically take a little bit of Jägermeister, 3/4 of a shot, and then 1/4 of a shot of apple pucker. And this is the big part. In order to actually drink robot blood properly and to get the maximum punch, you're going to have to drink some motor oil. So whatever you can find in your parents' garage, just chug it down.
Maybe a little WD-40 or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Just start huffing bleach and whatever else you can find in the house. I don't think we'd have kids listening necessarily, but yeah, don't do that if you're stupid. I don't know why that's so funny to me. Anyway, guys, so when you guys take this shot, guys, for real though, you're gonna have to say, "Have a nice shot."
Yeah.
So now we're gonna do our celebratory
Sambuc.
Is it celebratory or I don't know anymore?
Who cares?
By the time I've drank this, we won't be talking right anyway. So
no.
I think I was rambling last episode, guys. So forgive me a little bit. All right, man. Cheers.
Cheers, bro.
To another episode.
Oh,
don't spill it.
Clank. Sorry, we have to clank. Otherwise, it's not official.
What do we do? That one hit harder than they
I think it's
normally
because
do.
we're getting towards the bottom.
It's sugary. It's
all the
book
that settled at the
all
bottom.
the book settles to the bottom. It's the booty.
The book end of the bottle.
The sand part tasted great.
Yeah, we already drank all the sugar out of this shit. Now we're to the book.
It is sugar, dude.
Woo!
Cheers.
Cheers, my friend. Salud.
If you would like to try robot blood, and I guarantee you this is going to taste good, unless you hate Jägermeister, then just, robot up, okay? Because it's time to drink. But all you have to do is go to longlivethevoid.com, check out our hashtag Horrorshots section. But that's it for Horrorshots. All right, guys, so now we're going to go ahead and jump into our flesh and potatoes of robot
Mayhem.
with
Chopping Mall.
and
The Vindicator. Right now.
we're going to go ahead and jump into the first movie, which is Chopping Mall. We did that for you guys because we know that most of you have probably not even heard of or know what the fuck the Vindicator is. So the Sambuca's already starting up right there.
Luka.
But yeah, Patrick, why don't you go ahead and kick it off with the first movie for this week?
All right.
Don't fuck it up.
So this movie was originally titled Killbots.
Yeah.
And it didn't do well on its release. And then so they took it off and then they brought it back as Chopping Mall.
Chopping Mall. Chopping Mall. It's just a good play on words.
It is. It really is. But the storyline of this terrific film It's a young group of shop employees stay late after closing to have a party.
Okay.
And little do they know, the security robots, for some reason, they have security robots.
Yeah.
In the 80s.
Because this is a fancy Hollywood
Right.
Hollywood mall. I think it was in L.A.
Was it? So lightning hits the radio tower and sends a surge through the robots, which sends them on a killing rampage. So that's pretty much the story in a nutshell. It was directed by Jim Warnowski.
Okay.
Am I saying that right? Warnowski?
Sounds right.
All right. Who's was a writer for one of my favorite movies, was Forbidden World. And if you guys haven't seen that movie, I strongly suggest watching it.
I love that movie. Forbidden Planet?
Forbidden World.
It is. You looked it up?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
There is a planet that's
I like Forbidden World, and I like that other one. There's two that are
that are so similar.
Yeah, we did both of those one time, I think.
We did.
Galaxy of Terror.
Galaxy of Terror.
Yeah, that's the one that's my favorite.
Right.
Forbidden
Galaxy of Terror is the one with Sid Haig and Robert Englund.
Forbidden World is fun just because it's so bad it's good.
Yeah.
It's like really weird. But I love like Galaxy of Terror is one of my favorite.
Yeah, and the art, the poster art, dude.
Right.
It's like, dude, put it anywhere. It looks beautiful.
Right. Both of them actually.
Oh,
yeah.
you're right. They're both really good. And which they do show the posters of those
in the movie.
In the movie, yep. Mm-hmm. I can't remember which one it is. It's either Forbidden World or Galaxy of Terror. I think it's Forbidden World. But so other than a writer of Forbidden World, he's also directed Deathstalker 2.
Ah, yeah, that's a good one. That's a really good, so bad it's good film, by the way.
967 Evil 2, The Astral Plane.
Right. Which had the first one. I don't know if he was in the second one, but the first one was...
sorry, The Astral Factor.
Astral Factor, yeah, that was going to say, yeah.
And Not of This Earth.
Okay.
The Return of Swamp Thing. And Ghoulies 4. There's more, but those are the ones I cherry-picked.
Yeah, those are a good brood of bad films right there.
Right.
Like,
yeah, it's a nice witch's brew. This movie was written by Jim Warnowski and Steve Mitchell. Now, I couldn't find much of what, Steve Mitchell has actually written, but what I could find, 80s favorite cartoons that I hold near and dear to my heart, which would be G.I. Joe. He wrote a couple episodes for G.I. Joe and Transformers. And one of my wife's favorite...
The movie you're talking about?
No, the actual cartoon shows, yeah. And one of my wife's favorite, Gem.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And other than that, he's actually did a documentary on Chopping Mall, I believe, called Chopping.
Okay.
The producer is Julie Corman, which is the wife of Roger Corman, one of our favorite directors, who is probably one of the hardest working directors in the industry. I mean, fucking movie after movie after movie after movie. I mean, there aren't all gems, but... Oh, there's something to be said.
Yeah, he went for it, man. Like sometimes he made them really quick, and sometimes they weren't good. But they were all like, I would have loved to have been a part of that crew,
right?
Making those movies. Even though I heard he's like really strict sometimes, but he's a great.
Well, this is a Roger Corman film, or
he just got recognized too for like some award, yeah. Mm-hmm. But it's like a while ago, but.
And so Julie Corman, she's also produced 1990s Brain Dead, which I know is one of your favorite.
Yeah.
And,
Bill Pullman, peace. Bill Paxton.
Right.
Love it.
Rest in peace, Bill Paxton. We love you.
Yeah, I love that movie, dude. That's such a great thriller.
Dude, and it's just
a trippy movie.
Trippy movie.
I did that for my birthday. Remember we did Dead Alive, a.k.a. Brain Dead.
Right.
Brain Dead, the Bill Pullman, Bill Paxton. And then we also did The Brain. It was like Alex's birthday brain bash. Yeah. Because it was all brain movies. Right. Yeah.
I think the only one that was Brain Bash that I didn't... I mean, it was good in its own right. It was bad, so bad it was good, but it wasn't as good as the other two.
Right.
Those are just cream of the crop. She's also produced The Nest.
Okay. Oh, I have that. Yeah, that's a good one. It's a weird one.
Nightfall. Mm-hmm. And Nowhere to Hide. And there's more.
There's plenty. Yeah, she's done a lot.
I'm just cherry picking here, guys. And now let's go on to our cast, which we have Kelly Maroney, who plays Allison Parks in the movie, which is, the only one. Well, I'm not going to spoil it. Let's just say.
She's one of the main stars of the show.
She's one of the main stars.
Yeah.
Who played Cindy in 1982's Fast Times of Ridgemont High. Mm-hmm. And Samantha in 1984's Night of the Comet.
Yeah, dude.
And if you haven't seen that movie,
I love her in that.
You
She's great. I love that movie in particular. It's just so weird. It's got like that Maximum Overdrive feel, but also like...
and the scores in it are fucking epic. Mm-hmm. Really good music in that film.
Cool, like little tiny... end of the world movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely really good. It's a gem on top of the crown that is 80s.
Oh, yeah.
And then, let's see. She's played Sherry Ordway,
Oh, by the way, do you know they're remaking that?
Night of the Comet?
Yeah.
No way!
I wrote the director because I was like, please tell me you're just going to do a pastiche of the old movie. Like, if you're going to remake it, do it in your own way.
And do it in that vein of the 80s.
Right. Like, I feel like it's going to lose the punch, but unless they do it in that, like, what was that movie where the two girls are murderers and they, like, use social media? I can't think of it off the top of my head. It was one of my favorite movies.
Like 2 months ago, I finally saw
something
that
girls,
movie.
Tragedy Girls.
There we go.
If it was done in that way in today's society, I could totally get behind it.
Right. But
Anyway.
hopefully they do it right, and you got me psyched up for it, dude. That's going to be awesome.
I feel kind of like a dick that I wrote that person saying that, but like I visioned it and being like that pastiche style 80s.
Well,
like,
you were totally like, when you take your movie serious.
Well, that one in particular has just got a little special spot for me.
Little special sauce in it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it is great. Like I said, I
just don't think it would be that great of a film if it wasn't like super aesthetic.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's like one of those films that the reason that it's so good is because of the time frame that it took in. Because it wasn't even popular when it came out. And then but the cover was awesome. Anyway, continue on. I'm sorry.
This is going to be a long episode.
It's the Sambuca, guys. We'll try to cut back. I promise. I'll try to quit. I promise. I know listen, I told you guys this before. I know I've lied to you in the past, but just trust me this time. I'm going to quit, okay? Just believe me.
Just believe me. Believe
I'm not making fun of addiction, by the way, so don't pull that shit with me.
And other than that, after the Night of the Comet, Servants of Twilight. And another star of this film, Tony O'Dell, who plays Ferdy. Is that how you pronounce his name? Ferdy.
Yeah.
He also played Billy in 1985's Evils of the Night. Mm-hmm. Jimmy in The Karate Kid. And not only that, he came back for Karate Kid 2.
Booyah.
And not only that, he came back for Cobra Kai as the same character.
That's why he looked familiar, dude.
There you go.
He did look familiar. I just was like, I couldn't place it, but that's funny.
Yeah. And then also another star of this film, we have John Torosky, who played Mike Bernigan, who was the Deathstalker in Deathstalker 2.
Yeah.
And then the All-Nighter, which he played a character named CJ.
Okay.
And Carl in 1989's Damned River.
I've never heard of that.
Either have I, dude. And another star is Russell Todd, who plays Rick Stanton. Who played Scott in 1981's Friday the 13th Part 2.
Oh, okay.
Sorry,
it's a good movie to be in, by the way.
Oh, yeah. And then we have Barbara Crampton, who played Susie Lynn.
Right, the annoying chick in the movie, by the way.
Right. She's the one that pretty much sealed.
She did the part well, don't get me wrong, but she is annoying in the film.
Oh, yeah. She's the one that pretty much sealed her own fate.
Yeah. She was destined to die in that movie. Yeah.
And let's see, she was also in Reanimator, which is by far one of my favorite horror films.
Okay.
And she played Megan Hensley in that. 1986, From Beyond.
Another great one.
That is...
She was really hot in that movie, actually.
Right. You know, I was thinking, like, I have that soundtrack, and you love it so much. That
I love that movie, yeah.
I almost want to give you that vinyl, but you would never be able to play it.
Maybe I'll give you some of my shit in my collection.
Maybe make a little switcheroo there.
Yeah, I'll make a trade if you do that for me.
There's some other actors, but I'm gonna skip past those.
Okay.
But I do want to talk about some of the cameos in this movie because they are very important.
Okay, yeah, mention them out.
The cameo king himself, Dick Miller.
Fuck yeah.
That's right, let's hear it.
Love Dick Miller. Gremlins, Burbs, Terminator, everything.
Keep going. Dude, it's on and on.
He's a Joe Dante select.
Right. And there is a documentary out there because he is that guy.
Yeah.
And the movie's actually called That Guy, Dick Miller.
Right.
So if you ever wonder what that guy's name is, it's
honestly,
Dick Miller.
I don't think he is that guy. He's always been special to me. And it sucks that he died here recently. Like that.
Yeah. Other than that, we're going to talk about Mary Woronov, who was in one of Alex's favorite movies.
Yeah,
I think
Terrorvision. Yeah, her and Gary Graham is in this movie. And sorry, I'm not trying to spoil your shit, but like I love them together in Terrorvision. So
yeah, it's pretty good. Like I had never seen.
They worked so fucking good together, and Gary Graham was so underrated as an actor. Like, I know that he was a comedic actor and he was trying to do a lot of serious stuff.
Right.
I've always liked Garrett Graham in all of the roles that he's ever been in. And it sucks that he never got his just desserts, I feel. You know what I mean? Like, I know, like, he was trying to take himself super serious in the beginning, but man, was he good in those comedy beats, dude. Like, he was just that, like, his shining moment to me was TerraVision, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the family was just, everybody in that movie is so great. So cheesy, so great, though. Like
it felt like a comedic version of E.T.
Yeah, seeing Garrett Graham in this was like kind of like meh compared to what I love about Garrett Graham. Yeah. So anyway,
well, she was in Night of the Comet.
Yeah. Paul Bartel is also in this movie, who plays Paul Bland for whatever reason. He's a recognizable that guy face. He's like the like really rich hoity-toity guy in the very beginning sitting with Mary Warrenov.
Oh yeah. You know what's funny? This is a bit of trivia a little bit early, but I just think I should mention it since we just mentioned both their names. Mary Warrenov and Paul were actually playing the same characters they played in another movie called Eating Raoul.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Which I thought was kind of funny.
Yeah, they were being like those hoity-toity people.
Right.
Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah, that's cool.
But that's all for right now.
Okay, yeah, those are good cameos to mention. I almost completely forgot because we watched it a week and a half ago.
Right, and you know what was weird? I had to rewatch Chopping Mall because I watched that god-awful movie, Phantom of the Mall.
Oh, yeah, we were going to do Phantom of the Mall, guys, and it was the Eric's Revenge.
Eric's Revenge.
And he said it was so terrible that we shouldn't even watch it.
It was...
But I think we'll do it again in the future because we did that.
You really want to do that?
Yeah, we're going to have to, man. This is the road we travel.
It's bad.
Yeah, and that's why we'll make fun of it.
Pauly Shore is in it, though.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And it was fucked up. And what I was about to say is that, like,
was he wheezing the juice?
He was wheezing the juice. No wheezing the juice. But it was so bad because, like, my head got fucked up because they both take place in malls, and that was why we made the connection. But the malls were so similar that I started crossing over scenes between the two movies.
Was it the same mall?
I don't know. We should find out.
Yeah, it's a little confusing. No worries.
So let's get to the budget of this movie.
What was it? Yeah, I'm curious.
It was about $800,000.
That's actually pretty small compared to what I thought it was. Yeah,
and it's
Roger Corman family knows how to squeeze a dollar,
and that's exactly what the guy was saying. He's like, I came on doing a Roger Corman film. I knew that the budget was going to be limited, and I wanted to show him what I could do with that.
Right? They probably blew their load on that one scene, the infamous scene. You know what I mean?
Right.
Plus the robots, because dude, they were like straight up like kind of cool.
Oh, they were for sure. Which this movie was shot in 22 days.
Yeah.
22 days.
That's actually pretty good. Actually longer than they probably wanted.
Well, and they did this thing like as long like they got to shoot
3 weeks is
in an actual mall.
Yeah.
And they had to okay it with the people who own the mall, and they had to be done by 9 a.m. in the morning.
Right. Yeah, they had to have everything cleaned up. Yep.
Right. Mm-hmm. So now that I've bored you with all my shit.
No, it's not boring. I love all that shit. So
let's hear what Alex has to. What did you think, brother?
Okay. Well, I'm not gonna go into a diatribe like I did with fucking Child's Play, guys. So don't worry. Fucking Jesus Christ! I am like so embarrassed. But like the first thing I thought, I was like, robots can't live with them, can't shop without them. But like these robots are here to protect your shopping needs. A quick presentation at the very beginning of the film with Mary Warrenov and Paul Bartel, which was kind of fun. Like I wish they would have stayed in the film because it would have made it funner.
Yeah.
But more fun, whatever. But they do how to operate these droids and the words, trust me, absolutely nothing can go wrong. Sure. Boom, credits. Yeah. Which, I wish it would have kept that vibe, I wish.
Dude, that's how I felt when I first saw it. I was like, oh.
It's like, I'm not trying to take away from this film, not trying to throw shade at it, but I will say that I feel like it missed some opportunities a little bit. And, I've seen this. It's been a long time.
Well, like you said, they probably threw their whole budget at making these robots.
Right. Well, and that's fine. I just, there's elements in it that I love, but there is just parts that just didn't flow like I felt like it should. Like it's cool. It's a good movie to own. I definitely would own it. But I remembered it, I think, better than it is. You know what I mean? And I hate to say that because it's, sort of slightly above average. So it's a good film. Personally, to me, I just really wish it could have been more, I don't know, just funny and fun.
Well, it just felt like it was one note.
Yeah, I mean, there is one particular scene that everyone in this, that always remembers this movie for, because it's a great gore scene, and we'll talk about that in the spoiler section if you haven't seen it. It's probably in the trailer if you've even looked it up, so it's not like we're ruining anything. But for the sake of not spoiling shit, but other than that, I mean, it's rather mild, silly boobs, babes, libidos, and of course robots in this mall movie, which all makes sense in the context of what the scenery is. But other than a few gore scenes tickling my little balls,
my little baby balls,
my little teeny dinkies, it's pretty slow and a kind of tropey film that you've probably seen a million times in other better films, honestly.
I completely agree.
Like even the Magnum PI guy, whatever his name is, Tom Selleck, who did that one movie where the robots were attacking. I can't remember. It's called Runaway, I think. Is better in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I've never seen Runaway, but now you're gonna make me go home and watch it.
That's a fun one. Yeah, it's all about robots in the future and like how they've integrated into regular society. Teens get picked off one by one, pretty typical stuff. The cover of this movie is probably better than the movie overall.
Yeah, the cover really sells you.
Right, and I think that's why a lot of people have seen it. It's not that it's a bad movie. Again, I'm not trying to shit on your films, guys. I'm just saying, like, if I had to be picky, which is what I don't get paid to do, but I do anyway, I guess. I don't know. I wouldn't mind noting this down the road. It is nice to see Kelly Maroney, from Night of the Comet back. I liked her in that movie a lot, which I mentioned before. But she definitely has some sort of similar moves in Chopping Mall. Like, it feels very similar. Her and a bunch of hot girls and sort of hot guys, I guess. Of course, Barbara Crampton's in it. But she's, like I said, the annoying one in this particular movie.
Dude, yeah, she would have survived.
No, she was destined to die from the moment she opened her mouth. And I'm not making fun of her as a person. I'm just saying the character.
Like, they never got to the air shaft, though.
When she was in the air shaft, I was like, I don't want to be in this fucking air shaft now. I'm leaving this air shaft in the movie. I'm out. Later. It's just her character was written so fucking annoying.
It really was.
Especially for Barbara Crampton. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
But anyway, there are a few cameos. Like I said, we talked about Garrett Graham, TerraVision, which I adore. But they're only in it for like a hot minute. Like, literally, like, it was like they were the star power. Which is funny because they're like not the big stars, but they are in the horror community, in the cult films. You know what I mean? But the robots are pretty cool. I thought they were really cool. They have a lot of character. But I just wish they were a little bit more savage.
Yeah.
I felt like it needed more blood and gore. This movie, if it would have been unleashed in a mall and like everybody starts fucking getting ripped apart, I would be fucking like jerking off to the movie. I just want them to rip out their stomachs and like wear their organs as a hat or something.
It definitely had very, very minimal special effects.
You know what I mean? And I know it's all has to do with the budget, but I really just wish, I just wish, I don't know how to explain it. I just wish it had more.
You could have made the robot shitty and not even robot controlled. Just have like a small person walking around in a suit, and just spent more money on the actual special effects. And
maybe
I would have forgave it.
Well, they spent the movie or money wisely.
No.
I think they did a really good job. They really made it stretch. But all in all, I'd give it a 5.5 for the so bad it's good kind of culty cinema.
I don't know if I go 0.5. I definitely would go 5.
Yeah, I'm around the 5.5 ish. But if for a fun, quick watch and have a few laughs, nothing overwhelming in the funny department, intentionally or not.
Right. Definitely something to throw on in the background when you got people over.
I'd actually really love to see a remake of this movie.
Oh yeah.
And I know that that's a bad thing for some people to hear, but I honestly wouldn't mind it. I think it would be perfect. In this day and age, they could make it, but I think they would probably amp up the kills and shit, and then they would turn him into some fucking sort of like dog robot or something that like runs down the halls at like 100 miles an hour. You know what I mean? Like they'd fucking what's his name? Fucking it's on the tip of my tongue. Michael Bay. Yeah. I feel like they would Michael Bay it up, and that would just be the wrong directions. I think it needs to be campy. It needs to be aware of itself, but also have enough money that it doesn't look like garbage and the acting isn't shit. If they just had fun with it and did it in the sense like they kind of did with like Planet Terror or fucking, you know, like one of those faux funny fucking movies.
Well, there are people out there who were taking the 80s and doing it right.
Right. Well, yeah. But the other thing is that they probably have to pick a different setting too, because malls are pretty much dying now. So it's like, where would it be? Like, where would they put that arena?
Not all.
Like that?
You just have to pick the right mall. Like, if they could do it,
it could be at a convention.
It could be at a convention, but think about this. Think about one of the malls that's like one of the biggest malls in America.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Like Mall of America, do it there.
Well, they could do it in a way that it's like, hey, we just opened a new mall. Are you crazy? And it's like, this is a different mall. We're going to have all kinds of shit. And then it turns into this like...
you could still make it a mall.
All right.
You just have to spin it a different way.
Please don't turn it into fucking agile fucking like running beasts like dogs. Like just have it like something ridiculous and just like murder everybody. Because I really want to see a robot wear a human face as a mask or something. Or like a fucking little teeny hat.
I'll cut your fucking face off and wear it like a hat.
But what about you? Like, what did you think of this movie?
Pretty much everything you said nailed it for me, man. Like,
okay.
I almost wish that like I would have went first because, you know. But I definitely feel the same way. It was good in a sense, but it also was very bad.
Yeah, like I don't mean to take away from it either. Like it's definitely going to be good for some people, like and hit that sweet spot. But it seems a little too particular for some people,
right?
And I just see like a lot of missed opportunities. It's
for sure.
Yeah,
yes.
Like I wish that they would have gotten a bigger budget, like even twice that size.
Yeah,
like if they would have had $2 million and made this movie into a fucking like splatter fest, like this would have been one of my favorite movies of all time.
Like I said, dude, you could have pulled back from the robots because that probably cost them a good chunk of change.
Nah, the robots are fine. They need to have those. Those robots are fine, but they needed to have more gore.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is they made them like remote controlled. Like that alone, it's like you had to pay somebody to build that and be able to operate it when you really could have just paid an actor to move around in a robot
Well, if you
suit.
think about it, I like what I think with those robots, even though they don't look the same. Terminate. Fucking Doctor Who style.
Right.
What are they called? The Daleks.
Like, see, I don't know anything about Doctor Who.
Those are those ones with the bubbles on the side, and they have the like.
Doctor Who.
They have a toilet plunger on one side that's a laser, and then like a fucking like whatever the fuck on the left.
I'm gonna get hate for saying I don't watch Doctor Who, but I don't.
Yeah, I feel like you would get into that because you like a lot of that weird shit that's like kind of spacey and stuff. But anyway,
like I thought it was a decent movie. Is it one of the best movies that the '80s have to offer us? No, but it definitely deserves its place on the crown, which is '80s.
That's why I lean a little bit more 5.5 because of like some of the people that were in it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and I totally agree with that.
What did you think of like the main lead actress in like this role versus Night of the Comet? Like, did you like her?
I did like her actually. Yeah. I thought she was like, you know,
mall sweetheart.
What do you call it? Heroines. Like she was a good heroine.
Yeah. She likes heroin?
Yeah, she loves heroin.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
I don't know her.
Yeah, we had some good times.
And maybe you shouldn't be sharing that on a podcast.
Dude, you don't even know. It's like a warm heaven, bro.
Let's lift off. I'm sorry. I'm not making fun of the addiction again, guys. I know it's the second time in a row, but whatever.
Like, there could have been more to this film, definitely. It had its slow parts.
What did you think of the mega kill? Like, we can get into depth about it, but is that like the best thing in the movie?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. But it's so quick.
It is so quick.
Right.
Very, very quick. I think more than anything, it's more the lines in this movie that make it good.
Sure, yeah.
Because just the way that they're delivered and what they say are just so dumb. Comical and dumb.
Yeah.
It's just good.
Oh, there is one edit in the movie that I really love that we're going to talk about. I just love what they're talking about. Like when it switches into, it transitions. I was like, oh my God, that was such a great edit. Anyway.
But for the most part, it's a decent 80s movie.
Okay. What about a robot killer movie?
Not the best.
Would you rate this lower than Child's Play?
Yes.
Would you rate this lower than Short Circuit?
Yes.
Okay. Terminator? I'm kidding.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so now...
This is even on the same fucking bar as Terminator.
No, I was just being silly, but... did you have any trivia or anything that you could share?
I do. I got a little trivia for you guys. You guys ready for some factoids?
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy. So Jim Warnowski, I have to give him some kudos because he actually volunteered to do one of the stunts.
Really? Which one?
You know where they throw
Oh, and guys, just so you know, before we say this is the spoiler section, so if you don't want anything ruined, it's an old movie, so we're a little lax on these kind of things, but I feel like I need to give you a warning.
If you haven't seen it yet. Well,
yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, it's up on Shudder.
Titties.
You can check it out on Shudder, so you don't have to listen to the trivia and spoil anything for yourselves. You can get that. I think it's like $5 a month anywhere in the world. So anyway,
okay. So
what stunt did he do? Where?
Remember when the guy gets thrown off the balcony?
Yeah. Okay, that's the one I was thinking. It looked like he almost hit the fucking elevator.
Dude, I know.
Like when I was watching it, I was like, is he gonna hit? Because you see his arm like go,
Right. Like there's no way I'd let someone throw me off that shit.
Right.
I don't give a fuck.
And then he fell through the fucking the little like, what do they call those little
tent things?
Yeah, but no,
kiosks.
not the tent kiosk. Thank you. Yeah.
But he did it. He said he was fine, and he didn't let anybody know till the end of production that he actually broke a rib, bro. And still fucking went through the whole production process like a champ.
That's a true professional.
Hell yeah. Dude.
Or as most people these days would say, how dare that company allow him to fucking... So whatever you guys want to pick for me, I'll go with it.
And not only that, we got to give some more kudos to Kelly Maroney because she did most of her own stunts.
Yeah, she did in Night of the Comet too, I think.
Yeah. So
hell yeah.
Good job.
You go, girl.
Yeah. Like you said before, you stole one of my trivia facts that it was shot in a real mall.
I didn't steal that. I just knew that.
He knew it. I didn't. But yeah, it was shot in a real mall.
Okay.
And we kind of already gave you that trivia that, they had to clean up before 9 a.m.
Okay.
Other than that, Jim Warnowski actually did the voices for the 3 robots.
Really? Yeah. That's funny.
Which is pretty cool.
I mean, we're not talking like amazing acting here.
No,
you don't have to be.
Means.
It's supposed to be bad.
The cameo king that we were talking about before, Dick Miller.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it was the same character he played in Bucket of Blood.
Oh, yeah.
1959.
I think I heard that, yeah.
Which was another Roger Corman.
I own that movie.
I look at your movies, dude, and I don't think there's not one movie up there that you don't own.
Oh, fuck that. I wish I had a collection like that. I know people could put me to shame, but I have a very nicely pruned. My shit's like a fucking Mr. Miyagi fucking, what do you call it, bonsai tree. You know what I mean? Like, I prune my collection. Some people are just like, yeah, shit on my face. I don't even care.
Like, give it to me. Give me the manja.
Which is nothing wrong with that. I'm starting to get into that zone, too, because I'm like, I'm just going to add.
Be like, whatever.
Yeah, like,
throw it in there.
It's $1.
It's $1. I'd buy that for $1.
So funny that you said that because, like, that's 2 times we've said that in the last 2 episodes, and we're going to be talking about Robocop here in a little bit. So.
I know.
Anyway.
The horror movie that Kelly Maroney's character and I can't remember his name, but the guy who played
Ferdy, whatever the fuck.
Tony O'Dell. The movie they're watching is a Roger Corman film.
Yeah, of course. So that's the one he can get away with.
Right. Which was Attack of the Crab Monsters.
Yeah.
And I kind of spoiled some of the trivia while we were talking about the cast.
You know what?
So
What's really funny? By the way, I really thought there was a scene when they were watching that movie on the TV where he's like, the woman lays against his chest all dramatically.
Yeah.
When they defeat the crab monster in the movie, and she's all scared, which was like, really?
Like
we're talking about the character, of course. But
it's like you just want some D. Like if you want some D, just come out and say you want some D.
Oh my god! Like yeah, that's not scary. But she's like the woman in the film that they're watching is leaning up against his chest.
Right.
And she's just like, like totally 50s acting. I was like, man, if they meet up by the end of the movie and do that same thing, it would have been perfect. Like it's just like a little nod, for all the horror fans. And they never did it. So I was like, whatever, fine, whatever. I have a couple of trivia bits, by the way.
Yes, please add in, because I was going to say I burned up the rest of them getting excited before we get to the trivia section. I already spilled the beans.
The big one for me was when the jock guy, Michael, goes to get the girl cigarettes, and he goes out by himself, and the robot approaches him, and he shows it his badge, and he says, all right, whatever, dude, Klaatu, Veratu, Niktu.
Oh, yeah, which was War of the Worlds.
Actually, no, it's not. It's actually from, it was obviously popularized by the Army of Darkness.
Oh, obvious.
It originated as the phrase that saved the world from destruction in the movie The Day of the Earth Stood Still.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the movie I was trying to
The
think of.
1951 movie, which I had totally forgot. Like, if you would have been like, Klaatu, Veratu, I would have been like,
Nectar.
That's totally fucking
Army of Darkness.
Army of Darkness. But I had no idea that was actually what that meant. It was like the phrase that they used to save humanity in that movie.
I actually didn't know that until like I think I didn't know that until like maybe like 5-6 years ago, and I was like, I actually saw it, and I was like, shit.
That was an awakening for me. That's pretty much the only like tidbit I had, because I was like, wait, what the fuck? This was before that movie. What the fuck? So, but yeah, that's all I had on that.
So did you have any favorite scenes in this film?
I have a few that I wrote. I wrote like 6 or 7 down.
And I guarantee they're probably the same that of mine. But
the first one that stood out to me is like in the very beginning, like they go to one of the girls or two of the girls work at a pizza place, and the guy that's like making pizza in the very beginning has his fucking shirt covered in disgusting ass fucking mess while he's smoking over the pizza.
Right. Did you notice that he actually picked the cigarette off a plate?
No, I did not see that.
Dude.
I was like, that is way dirty. Like, I think HD really ruins that scene for most people, because I was like, holy shit, this dirty motherfucker. Like, fuck eating here. You know? That was like the first thing that caught my attention. I was like, because this is like, you know, they'd already established there was going to be a party in the mall, and like these guys, like, it's really confusing because like I'm not really sure what their ages are. It just like it ranges. There's like a married couple, and then there's like fucking like guys that work behind the counter who's like young, and then
didn't you think it was kind of weird they all just kind of like decided all to have sex in the same room?
Yeah,
that was kind of weird.
That was a little weird. I thought the same thing. I'm like, damn, you guys are just like, you're like one step away from having an orgy. Why don't you just get it started?
It's just like, fuck the covers. Like, why
somebody
even
throws
bother?
a bra and they're all fucking each other's mouths. Nothing wrong with that, by the way. I'm just saying, like, get the party started. Don't wait.
Yeah, don't fuck around.
Yeah.
Don't do shit half-assed.
Forever young. Oh, sorry. I don't know why that song came to mind. Like, what the fuck?
Because you do stupid shit when you're young.
There was this one scene, I gotta mention this real quick. The jock guy, Michael, he comes in and kisses Leslie. That he can't wait till tonight to have sex at the after-hours furniture store party that they're talking about. Previous to that, and her dad walks in and says, "Oh, what can't you wait for, Michael?" And I was like, oh shit. And then she pulls the whole daddy cutesy card and says, he can't wait to take me to Susie's B-Day party tonight. And he's like, well, okay then. I'm like, yeah, right.
He knew what was going on. He's like, well, I'll let you take care of it. Or whatever. I can't remember what he said, but he's like, yeah, I know what the fuck you're going to take care of.
He's the jealous father, the like controlling jealous father.
You know what annoyed me about that dude's character is that he was always chewing gum. Like an obnoxious fucking dick.
First of all, how old are these people? This is the thing I don't understand.
Yeah,
like,
that guy looked like he was...
If she's like talking that way, all cutesy to her dad, she looks like she's 26.
Yeah.
Okay? Like in this movie. And I granted, like back in the day, younger people seem to look older than they did for some reason. I don't know why.
It was all the smoking.
And a lot of times they were older than they were in the movies. So I didn't know what to fucking take from this. I'm like, how the fuck old is she that she has to fucking, patronize her father that they're not going to fuck or something? Like, you look like you're 26. Like, you haven't left the house yet? Like, what's wrong with you? Sorry, anybody that's 26 or older at your mom's house. Sorry.
It's a wake-up call.
Yeah, like, I'm helping you. Uncle Alex is here to help. Like I said, there was a married couple too who were like hanging out with these kids. Like, what you mean to tell me that your marriage is so devoid of any kind of interest that you need to go hang out with some kids at a fucking mall?
Right.
Like, how old are you? Like, is she 16 and she got married early? Because she looks like she's 30. And her fucking husband's like 38.
And they don't work at a fucking mall. They actually they're like mechanics, right?
Yeah, they're mechanics, and she's the better mechanic.
Yeah.
And they started a business together because, love.
Right.
Because marriage.
You guys should take a shot every time I say right, because I'm just.
Or by the way, for the last episode, anytime I say, you know what I mean, you drink, guys. Just drink the fuck out of that shit. Because I am so mad at myself. Like, I did not edit that right.
Yeah.
I'm like, why did I say that so many times? Why did I even let it go? Anyway, what about you? Did you have a scene that you liked?
Oh, dude, there was a couple I really enjoyed. So one of my favorite scenes is right off the bat, right at the beginning of the film, where they're at this opening where they're showcasing these robots. So Mary Warrenoff at the beginning of this scene, when he's talking to her business partner, is talking about these robots, and he's like, they look like the Three Stooges, and I look at him like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I know.
Like, they all look the same.
It sounds like they're like intentionally overdoing the jokes that aren't funny, you know?
And then
but still, it's
and then
jovial.
the dude, Paul Bartel, says, no, the one in the middle looks unpleasantly ethnic.
The one in the middle looks ethnic. I was like, oh shit, you better can that shit. That ain't
right.
This ain't no 2016 or 2019.
Right, this shit won't fly today.
It was acceptable back then, supposedly. But yeah, that was like old shit, dude. Like we're fast forward, like what are we fucking Jesus? We're almost 40 years into the future. Ugh. That's crazy, man. We're old as fuck.
So another one was when they're like gearing up, when they get to the sports shop and they start getting guns and shotguns, and for some reason there's a fucking AK. Like, what? Like, they sold this to anybody at the mall. They're just like, yeah, we got AKs. Come on in.
Yeah.
You want some 242? Yeah, we got that shit. But the dude's like, as he's gearing up and loading his gun, is like, let's go send those fuckers a Rambogram. I had to rewind it twice to be like, is that what he said?
He is not very threatening.
No, not by any means, which makes it fucking even more hilarious.
That was funny. There was one part that I liked that was before all of that, though, is the Dick Miller cleaning scene where he's like cleaning up a mess in a messy ass bucket, dude. Like he might as well have just used paint to try to clean shit up,
or just piss on the floor, or whatever.
Like it was so bad. I was like, what is he doing? And he's like cleaning up the mess in the mall because he's a janitor, and like these two guys come out and they like make fun of him because he's
rousing him,
because he's like the new guy or something like that. He's like, fucking assholes.
You'll see, I'll be out of here in an hour.
Yeah, and they're like, all right, we're on our way out. But anyway, he threatens a robot and it shocks him to death on the ground. He's all dead and smoking, and they cut the sound to the kids in the party and the jock guy. So like as he's smoking on the ground, you can hear the jock guy speaking, and he's like, smoking is bad for your health. And the girl's like, I need one. And I was like, that's such a good edit right there.
Oh yeah.
That was the edit that I was talking about.
No, what I liked about that scene is that when the robot shot the dart at him, it just went right past him. And he's like, what the fuck? I had to bash your robot.
What the hell are you doing over here?
Right. I just thought it was funny. Then he was like, what the fuck?
And you have another scene?
Oh, when the girls when they were gearing up to face these robots, it's like, we don't want to go in empty-handed.
Right.
But later on, they literally throw one Molotov cocktail, and they had like 15 of them. Right. And they use one, and then they leave them there. Right. Like they threw one Molotov cocktail, and that's it. Like it was humorous to me. It was like, okay.
Well, the other thing is that you're skipping over is the head blowing up scene. She goes out to find her boyfriend, and her head explodes. Like the other guy, the jockey guy, gets his neck fucking slit. Right. When he's like talking shit to the robot, and he says the Niktu, Klatu, Veratu, Niktu.
Yeah, and he like shoots him with a trank dart or something.
Yeah, that's so stupid.
Yeah, really. And like the way that people run in this movie. It's so fucking
well, they probably
humorous.
made him run at a certain pace so that the camera could keep up or something. Like that's what I think of when.
Well, obviously, but it didn't look right.
But the robot shot lasers. Like, where the fuck is it getting lasers that it's shooting out of a mall fucking thing? And why does this mall have that much money that they can afford $1 million robots to survey their fucking
Well, not only that, you
property?
think about like the security doors. They were like fucking Star Trek fucking security doors.
Right, but then they had stairs so that the robots couldn't go up them.
Like, if you have that much money, like, wouldn't you have like air chutes like the fucking Jetsons or something? It's like, Bring you next level.
There was also that other scene where the fucking mechanic guy, like his wife dies. Like you think he's going to die and then the wife dies and she gets shot by a laser accidentally trying to shoot him or something.
Right.
Because it's like spinning around and she's like, ah! And she dies and then the guy's like, fuck you! He's literally 5 feet away from the robot. Takes one of those goddamn mall scooters. It's exactly like one of those ones you see at the airport where they're always taking the old people like on that little cart or whatever.
Yeah,
and he like runs into it and like 5 feet away. It's supposed to be this really dramatic scene as the robot's getting shocked and it's like boom and he hits it and then he dies.
Yeah.
And it was really dumb, but it was funny.
Super
it just
dumb.
made me laugh.
And the dude that like when they're another scene when they're arming up, the guy grabs the fucking 6-shooter.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He's like, "Do you know how to use that?" "Oh, don't worry, I've seen Dirty Harry like 21 times."
Yeah.
Like, how does that make you an expert?
You know, it's funny. Like, no one ever talks about Dirty Harry anymore. Like, you know what I mean? It was a big movie back in the day.
Right, it was.
That was like a big part of his career. You know, he was big in the spaghetti westerns and shit like that. But there was also that part where the snakes and the tarantulas are all over the last girl. The what's her name?
Kelly Maroney.
Kelly Maroney. I call her basically. She referred to her as Sarah Connor. And this one, like the younger version, but she's like hiding in a pet store, and they're all like crawling all over. I was like, ew, those are real.
Yeah,
I was like, ugh.
You can tell that there's a point when they're not real, when she's actually moving to get out of that little cross space. They were fake. So yeah, other than that,
what'd you think of the end of the movie? The robot explodes and Ferdy nerd dude is still alive. They all hug and roll credits.
It felt like a cheesy 80s moment.
You know why they lived, right?
No, why?
Because they didn't fuck.
Oh, the rules.
Yeah, they weren't a part of the orgy, dude.
You got to pay attention to the rules.
Yeah,
hey, that's a good one.
Although the married couple, why kill the married couple though?
Because they fucked.
But they're married. It's all about premarital sex. Like that's why you shouldn't do it. You're not supposed to have premarital sex. So, but I don't know. You know, that's just what I was thinking when I watched the end of the movie. It's kind of like a shitty end, to be honest with you.
It really is.
She like threw the paint on the ground, lights it on fire. He blows through it anyway. That was like a big ordeal.
But that was a funny part where she was like, "Have a nice day."
Yeah. Well, it's because they were saying that to them.
Every time they would kill somebody.
Right, yeah. Overall, I mean, it's an okay movie. It's fun to watch. Like, I think it's more than average, at least. And I think some people would probably find this like a 7 or an 8, maybe. But
to me, it's a 5.
Yeah, it's like I just feel like there's a lot of missed potential.
Yeah.
So, but we do have another fucking movie that we could talk about.
Oh, what you talking about there?
Well, this one's called The Vindicator.
Oh, The Vindicator. You're not talking about the vibrator?
No, that's my mom's. Fucking dildo. Ow. Fucking hurt my hand. Anyway, we got another movie fucking called The Vindicator. Came out in 1986. You hear me? Same fucking year.
It's the same fucking time.
It's also known as Frankenstein 80-fucking-8. And it's also known as in Brazil as Roboman. Fucking stupid.
Dude, you get this look on your face.
What is it fucking?
He just...
What the fuck? It sounds like some Japanese shit. You know what I mean? Like, get them fucking Roboman. Fucking Frankenstein 88 is better. Anyway, I'm sorry. It's hard not to go into the story of the Vindicator from 1986, just to repeat that because we got a little wild, is an employee of a secret company operation becomes the victim of the company's special weapons project. He's transformed into a robot killing machine that, because of his program, must destroy anything that comes near him. Dear God.
That was kind of ridiculous.
So, I'll get into why we picked this movie when I get into my thoughts. But it is directed by Jean-Claude Lord, not Van Damme. I got you.
I know, I was waiting for it. I was like,
gotcha.
Where is it? Like, my eyes are like, what?
Jean-Claude Lord has actually done some movies that you guys probably heard of, like Visiting Hours, Minefield with Michael Ironside. He did CoverGirl, and Eddie and the Cruisers 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Which the first movie just left you on a cliffhanger. Like, what happened? Well, why did they make a sequel? Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. And nobody cares.
Yeah. No, I actually remember watching that as a kid. The screenplay was actually written by and helped by, there's 2 people, Edith Ray, who actually helped to write Space Hunter Adventures in the Forbidden Zone, which I actually love. I think it's a really fun sci-fi indie film. Like, I love it. Edith also did Breaking All the Rules, Lassie, the TV show from the 90s, and Zubamafu, or Zobamafu? I don't know. Some fucking shit. Some kid show. Also, the screenplay was written by David Preston, who had worked with her. He also helped write Space Hunter Adventures in the Forbidden Zone, Breaking All the Rules. Also did Scanners 3, which honestly makes a lot of sense. Did a few episodes of Are You Afraid of the Dark TV show. He also wrote some episodes of the 90s version of Lassie with Edith. And Tales from the Neverending Story TV movie. I don't think I've ever seen that or heard of it. At least I don't remember.
No.
Some of the cast in this movie is David McRae. What the fuck? Your name is horrible. No, I'm kidding. I'm sorry. It's MCLL, dude.
MCLL?
Yeah. McGillithraith? McElwraith? I don't know. Sorry, David. He was Carl, a.k.a. Roboman, a.k.a. Frankenstein 88. He was in the movie Millennium from 1989 that they ended up turning into a TV show. Hollow Man 2, plus a bunch of bit parts in like Smallville, La Femme Nikita TV show, and more. Also stars Terry Austin, who was the wife of Carl, named Lauren. She was in Raising Cain, The Dark Mist, and Gangland, amongst others. Also, it stars the blaxploitation female actress named Pam Grier. She was playing the role of Hunter, an actual hunter, far stretch of the imagination there. She became known in the early 1970s for starring in a string of 1970s women in prison and blaxploitation films such as The Big Birdcage, Coffee, Foxy Brown, Sheba Baby. She was also in Jackie Brown that Quentin Tarantino did, obviously, so you know that one. You should know her. Richard Cox also was in this movie. He played the character Alex White, who was the dickhead lab leader guy. He was in the movie Al Pacino's Cruising, that just got re-released, actually. Another movie called Hellhole, Zombie High, an episode of Freddy's Nightmares, Alpha House TV show, The Librarian TV series, plus a bunch of random weird bit roles, you know. Also, it has the late Mari Chaikin, who played Bert, the best friend, who you may remember from My Cousin Vinny, Dances with Wolves, War Games of Unknown Origin, that rat horror movie with Peter, the guy who played Robocop.
Oh, Peter Weller.
Peter Weller, yeah, I think so. I think it was him. I can't remember. Also,
well, if you're talking about Robocop,
I could be wrong.
Peter Weller.
That's what I remember, but he was also in the horror movie called Curtains, DEFCON 4, Meatballs 3, Twins, Iron Eagle 2, Millennium, Mr. Destiny, Money for Nothing. Literally a ton of movies that you've probably seen. Huge actor back in the day. This movie had a budget of about $4.2 million, surprisingly.
Where did that money go?
I have no idea.
Like, seriously.
On actors? Because what? What? Yeah. So, Patrick, what'd you think of this movie?
It is one of those, it is so bad that it's good.
Right.
I mean, don't take this movie serious at all when you're watching this movie. Just go along for a ride.
It tried to be serious, but yeah, it's not good.
It almost seems like
it's not the way to watch it.
Is this movie dubbed?
No, but that's what it does kind of feel like that, doesn't it?
It feels like it is dubbed. And
it might just be the audio, but
what makes this movie just so fucking funny is the way the lines are delivered. And that's why I'm saying it feels like it's dubbed.
Right.
It's just so poorly, the lines are so poorly delivered that you don't know whether to laugh or what. It's just awful.
Yeah. Did you throw up like I did?
Did you throw up a little
bit?
From
the acting?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Maybe just a little tingle in the back of my throat. But it was just terrible. I mean, I wouldn't suggest that you watch this, but if you feel like subjecting yourself to something that's so bad, go ahead and watch it. You might get a laugh or two. I definitely did. There was a lot of the ridiculous scenes in this movie. Overall, would I watch it again? Probably not. Once is enough.
Yeah. I'm glad I did, right? Yeah.
Right. I'm glad I watched it once. Well, that's about it. I don't think I'd ever... Maybe since it's so rare, maybe I would pick it up.
Right.
Just for the simple fact to have it.
Right.
And that's about it.
Yeah, it'll be worth $100, $200 later on, so you'll sell it again, kind of worth it.
Right. I mean... Yeah, I don't really have much to say about this movie. What about you?
Well, you mentioned the thing in the chopping mall that I wanted to bring up, the connection here. It's like we picked these two movies randomly. Like, I've seen Chopping Mall, but it had been so long I don't remember everything about it. And I've never seen The Vindicator. We were just on a search for like a movie. But you mentioned that the lightning struck and brought the robots and Chopping Mall to life.
Right.
Funny thing, since this movie had Frankenstein vibes, and it was called Frankenstein 88 originally, or in another country at least, and it makes a lot of sense, so that's the connect in my mind, you know?
Okay.
But I just wanted to bring that up. Essentially, to me, this movie is like if 28 Days Later's ripoff had sex with Frankenstein's ripoff, and then they spit out a ripoff of Baby Robocop. Like, that's what you know.
The concoction
That's the concoction of this, yeah. It's like a cheesy sort of sci-fi movie that was made in Canada, and it's technically considered a Canucksploitation film. So, at its finest.
Its finest. Yeah, it's definitely a poor man's RoboCop.
Essentially, the story is like Carl, a scientist, at a NASA-funded lab or whatever called ARC, and I forget what it stood for. It was like Artificial Relations Company or something like that. But they lose this guy loses his funding. This guy, Carl, loses funding for his project, and he's almost near completion. But he finds out that the guy who's in charge is basically cutting him off and stealing his work or something like that, right?
Right.
And so, like, it's all this convoluted bullshit, but they're simultaneously trying to create some sort of mind control on people and turn them into weapons against people, like some sort of Return of the Living Dead 3 thing or something, like with the zombies or whatever. Like,
the little fucking, what was it? Like, almost like an erector set?
Yeah,
like a human?
You know what I mean? Like, it had something like that kind of vibe to it. They were doing some, like, testing on monkeys, and if the monkeys were touched or like anybody bothered with them, they would kill them it would like kill things on sight.
Yeah, which I had to rewatch that scene.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I did a couple of times, yeah.
My wife protested so much.
Right, really?
Yeah, she didn't like watching because she knew it was a real monkey.
Oh, they didn't really kill it.
Well, they didn't kill it.
They probably just like kicked it in the head.
But they did agitate it, obviously, to make it act like that.
They totally just kicked it in the head to make it. You know, they kicked it in the face just a couple of times just to make it knocked out. They didn't kill it. I don't know what you're getting upset about. I'm just kidding. But anyway, they would do this testing on the monkeys, and if anybody who gets near them or bother, they will kill them. The monkeys will kill on sight.
Dude, the
or just
noise.
die, but we can't get into the spoilers yet. There is a program that they call that they're doing. It's called Rage, by the way. Sound familiar?
Oh, yeah.
28 Days Later, come on.
Yep.
They don't really explain any of that in this movie, by the way, because they have, shittier plots to unveil. But sorry, that makes me laugh. But like one that basically almost essentially rips off RoboCop, but did it really? Because I'll probably just spoil a little bit of that right now. The scientist Carl, who kind of lost his funding, is kind of like working on something in the factory when the room blows up, killing him, and they decide that he'll be the perfect candidate for the new Robot Man project that they actually call Frankenstein Project. Like, really?
Like, even the way they named it, like, you think it'd be like Project Frankenstein.
Well, it's funny, too, because there's like, I've never looked at RoboCop that way. Like, it is like a Frankenstein movie.
It is.
Like he's like wronged, and then he goes out and like goes on rage and kills, but it's like the reverse in some ways, so it's a little weird.
Where he's like kind of slowly remembering his past life.
Yeah,
as him, he kind of it all just comes back to him.
He's reprogrammed himself because he's actually cares and his humanity is shining through.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, there's a lot of that going on in this movie, but it's just, a lot of ideas stuffed into this cheese log. This is, like he said, so bad it's good film for sure. It's not exactly superior cheese, but it's not a bad watch. It's actually pretty hard to find now because it's only been aired on Fox and can only be found on VHS, which you can get a copy for like $40 on Amazon right now.
$40?
Yeah, dude. VHS go pretty expensive now when they have not been released on DVD or Blu-ray, dude.
Yeah, damn, dude.
But, it's definitely not horror per se, but I think
more like thriller sci-fi.
I think it definitely is appealing to our demographic of people that like to watch horror movies because it is that like so bad it's good. Plus it was called Frankenstein 88, so if you're going to give me some shit, I'll hang on to that motherfucker for my life. This movie actually came a year before RoboCop, by the way. So
before RoboCop.
Before RoboCop.
Wow.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder. It's like, did you maybe someone tip somebody off of what they were
weird.
doing?
Yeah,
or?
I don't know how, because it's so similar. It might just have been a coincidence.
Yeah.
And because it is kind of an amalgamation of all kinds of different shit from the sci-fi world. So it's not exactly, I didn't see Robocop doing some of the shit they did in this movie.
Yeah.
But like the overall like base of the story is very similar. I don't know. Like I said, it just kind of puts Robocop in a whole new lens for me after watching this movie.
It definitely does.
So there is some value to this movie just for that sake alone. If you're into ripoffs and like movies that came before and you're just curious, this might be a good, movie to check out and see why.
Maybe like compare.
Right. There's not a lot of gore in this movie at all, really. Just a little bit of blood and some weird like white robot blood and shit like that. But there are some pretty creative deaths in it, including one in a car that's pretty much crushed. Lots of Robo-Man gone mad sort of antics and inadvertently poor dialogue segments make it pretty fun. But you know what I think about these So Bad It's Good movies anyway, guys. So it's still worth a laugh for the awkward situations that seem sort of self-aware at times, but not 100%. But the story is so all over the place and doesn't really get all that interesting into the bitter end, which isn't a work of art by any stretch of the imagination.
Not by any means.
Yeah, but one man's trash. You know what I mean? One person's trash is another man's...
is another man's toilet paper.
Yeah. But the acting is expectedly bad.
Yeah.
Like I would assume.
But it does. It makes you laugh.
The practical effects aren't too shabby in the film, so that kind of adds to it a little bit. It's not in there a lot, but it's in there, and it actually adds to the film, I think, is one of the better things of the film. There was like even this part where they show the underneath of his face that I just thought was really cool.
Dude, I did too.
I paused the movie because I was like, I want to look at this. And like, I was like, why couldn't they just had him walking around killing people doing that?
Like that. Yeah. That would have made the movie so much better.
10 times better. It looks so fucking cool. But apparently that was a prosthetic head, by the way, because I looked it up.
Yeah, it does definitely looks prosthetic. You can tell that the head's not real.
Right.
Yeah.
But I will explain a little bit more. It's just, let's just say it looked like this plasticky thing over this like burnt face, like lips removed, sort of skeleton-y kind of face looking guy with like a robotic kind of thing. And it looked cool. It looked like someone put some work into that shit. So, but I don't know if I'll watch this again, like you said, if at all. I don't think that I might watch it again one day in the future because I forgot that it's not that good or something like that. But it's not a horrible movie to check out. If you want to at least check it off your list in these sort of, So Bad It's Good movies, I'd probably give it like a 4, maybe a 4.5, if that.
Maybe a 3.5.
I think 4 is probably good out of 10 for me. I'd probably say that, in the So Bad It's Good kind of category, it's like a 4.
Okay, then yeah, 4.
Yeah, in the So Bad It's Good. But for like the casual viewer, it's more like a 2 out of 10 probably.
Yeah, like 2.5, 2.
Yeah. It's like, I always think it's funny. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this online or if you're one of these dildos, but I'm just kidding.
Do you reek of pussy juice? All right.
No, like, I always find it funny when people are like, oh my God, that was the worst movie I've ever seen. I'm like, let me show you my fucking hell, you fucking...
I have such sights to show you.
Yeah, like, Jesus, let me show you my fucking world. Like, if you think this is the worst movie you've ever seen,
right? We literally
man.
go into the cat box and shift through the litter.
Just watch the Howling franchise. You'll find a few in there.
Yeah.
You'll load the gun up, tell your parents goodbye. Just kidding. Sorry, Mom. Bang! By the way, your peanut butter jelly sucked. Oh my God. Yeah, don't do that, by the way. So yeah, I had some trivia on this, guys. Not very much. In fact, it was fucking slim pickings. Like, I mixed in a lot of the trivia.
I actually felt bad that you had to look through all that.
Well, that's why I asked you, because I was like, yeah, I'll let him do the chopping mall. You know what I mean? Like, I was gonna take it for myself, but then I offered it to you.
Well, I gave you some options out. I tried to give you some ways out of this one.
Well, no, I don't mind. I mean, this is the work that was meant to be done.
We're doing God's work here.
Yeah. But like, guys, just so you know, like, this is not a movie that is like widely known or widely appreciated. There are very few people that probably saw it on like some channel at night on Cinemax.
So
and
if you want to be that pretentious fucker, maybe this is a movie for you to watch.
I don't know if that's pretentious. Like
you could be like, well, have you seen Vindicator?
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, we'll take you down that hole. So speaking of this movie, it came straight to video in 1986. So it was not in the theaters that I know of. It came out by a company called Key Video. The other little tidbit, this is the last tidbit I have, by the way, is that the cyborg design was created by the Stan Winston Studios. So that's the creature that you see in this movie is definitely like when he gets burned and all his like worn like
what
gray
do you call that
robot
material called? Like it's like
well, not that material that got burned off is gone.
Right.
I'm talking about what was underneath it.
Oh, check.
Stan Winston's work, and I'm sure it is also the head that they did, the like cool face that he showed us.
That was so cool.
That was really cool. But other than that, guys, I mean, like, unless you have something else that you want to share with us, please let us know if you know anything else about this movie. This is the first time I heard of it. I literally,
Me too.
I remember seeing the cover, like when I was a kid.
It makes me wonder, like, how did you find that movie when you suggested it?
Dude, it's weird. Like, I will go, I remember that movie. Or when I'm doing notes, I'll be like, I remember that movie. That looks cool. And like this is why I love doing what movies these actors are in, because it gives me ideas. And I forgot about these movies, and I'm like, oh, we got to do that fucking movie.
Right.
And then I go look at that, and I'm like, I look into like people who also watch this movie like this movie, and then I go down that hole, and then I keep going until I get down to
ends.
till I get down to the superior level of cheese and from under. But yeah, did you have any scenes that you want to talk about? I kind of pretty much just wrote down the movie for the most part.
Did you?
Yeah, because there's some really funny stuff. It doesn't really get that good until the end.
Right.
We could probably summate most of this, but
I mean, there was a couple I really liked. After the wife gets in contact with her husband and she doesn't know how, he's just kind of like speaking through like the synthesizer in her house, which I don't know why she has all this like music equipment.
Well, you're way in. You're like at the third act already.
I know. Well, that's where I started liking some of the shit that
Right,
happens.
the third act is the best act of this movie,
right?
Yeah, for sure.
And she comes in, and her sister, was she her sister? Or
I don't know. Her name was Catherine.
Whatever she was, is like doing like a seance, and I can't remember what she was chanting, but the way she was chanting was so. You remember it?
Yeah, she was trying to summon Carl's ghost.
Do you remember exactly what it sounded like?
No, she was like, oh, na, ma. And she's got some weird synth music playing, or maybe it was the movie. I couldn't tell, because the woman that lives in this house, Lauren, the wife of Carl, is also a music producer, which is really unique.
So
you don't
that's
see
why
that in
it's
a movie.
All right, I must have glossed over that.
Yeah, she's like trying to summon Carl's ghost in some ritual, and then she was like,
"Oh, great,
why did you come home and interrupt my fucking thing? I almost reached him, and you made me lose him in the ethereal plane or whatever the fuck she was talking about." And then she's like, "Dude, I actually just spoke to him. He's a robot. Like he's alive."
Right.
I thought that was so funny.
Another one of my.
Well, hold on. Before you go jump into that, I want to go back to the beginning.
All right.
Because yours are probably later. The very beginning, there's this monkey, and he's like apparently programmed to do anything they type into a keyboard, which is some super advanced shit for 86, by the way. But they place a toy robot in the cage with it, and it touches the monkey. He
loses his bananas, yeah.
Yeah, like, are you serious?
He does.
He loses his bananas. Not literally, but... Yeah, he goes crazy. And then, no, I was saying, are you serious? Like, you made that joke?
I'm going to go there. Hey, we're talking about 80s cheese.
All right.
We got to go cheesy.
But then another guy, he walks in after these two lab people, and it's the Alex White guy, who's the dickhead.
The head of the company.
The head of the company, the head of the project. He's like, let's see what it does when it's really provoked. And I was like, oh, fuck. Like, what's he going to do? Like, shoot it in the head or something? Like, kick it in the face and knock a banana out of its mouth or something? Like, what is he going to do? And then he goes over and just starts, like, jumping at it or whatever. And he's like...
Well, he pokes him.
Well, yeah, he sticks a metal spike in the cage. Doesn't he?
What a dick. Yeah, at least it looked like a spike.
Well, it starts freaking out. And he keeps fucking with it till it starts bleeding out of the mouth and then dies. And then, like, I was like, Jesus, it's kind of dark. Like, you know? Like, I wonder how they got the, like, fake blood in the mouth.
Well, that's why Kelly was so much, like, just protesting against that scene. It's like, you're really watching this again?
Well, it's like, it's weird because, like, the whole reason they're doing this is because, like, it's a defense system to, like, fight against whatever is going on. Like, it's like the program takes over the mind and, like, makes you, like, fight and, like, take care of things, but they haven't ironed it out enough so that if it, like, keeps getting fucked with, then it just dies. So they're like, back to the drawing board, you know? But I love how that they also, like, when Carl dies, they steal his body. Like, there's some nefarious shit going on, no doubt.
Right.
But, like, he legit dies from an explosion, and they want to make a Robo-Man out of him all of a sudden. Like, where the fuck was this technology? Last thing I knew, we were talking to monkeys and shit, and they were dying. Now you're going to put him in a robot suit? Like...
Which... Since we're at that part of the scene where he dies, that was a cool scene, dude. Where he blew up and, like, he's kind of like skin just explodes off his face, like a hairdryer put on like ultra max setting,
like
or something.
The fucking Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking when I saw that scene. It's just funny you mentioned that.
I love that they also call the project Frankenstein. Like,
I hate that they said it was. Well, they said Frankenstein Project.
Yeah.
When really it should have been reversed.
By the way, guys, we're calling this one the Frankenstein Project. And I was like, fuck you. Like, I yelled at the screen.
It just didn't sound right. Like, you think it'd be like Project Frankenstein, right? Not Frankenstein Project. Like, if you guys are like some scientist motherfuckers,
I don't remember.
That is the accurate way to go.
I don't remember what order it was in, but yeah, it just definitely felt weird. No,
it
was
Frankenstein Project instead of Project Frankenstein.
If you're doing some sort of like clandestine operation that's like secretive or whatever,
right? Why put Frankenstein in it? Like,
what the fuck?
We can't connect those dots, dude.
Yeah, you threw me off the scent here, making a fucking another dead human come back to life. Anyway, did you happen to laugh when the wife loses it and starts crying?
I did. I totally
It is so good, man. She's the best performer ever in that role.
She looks like, what's her name? Like, what's her name? Like the girl from fucking Full House. Like, that's married to, what's his name? The Elvis guy or whatever.
Yeah, Elvis guy.
The guy who likes Uncle
Jesse.
Uncle Jesse. Like, I don't know. I don't watch the show.
You seem to know about it. What's up?
We've all seen it when we were kids, right?
So what does your mother think about you watching this show, Patrick? Just kidding.
Oh my god.
There's like the funny part after that though is when everyone gets mauled by the primates and like Frankenstein just like bursts through the roof. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, how the hell did he get through the roof? Like, they make no shit. There's like monkeys going ape shit, which is pretty funny too. But they're lying. They shoot him. They pump him in the chest or whatever. They don't show him getting shot, but they just show him laying next to a pile of fake blood, which I was like, oh, I started laughing. But they try to burn Carl alive, and that's when he gets this like cool, unique robot look where it's just his eyes. Like, you can only see his eyes, and he's like wearing this full robot outfit, and like
they made some kind of note to that beforehand. It's like, thank God his eyes weren't damaged. And they're like, oh yeah, thank God he was wearing his goggles. Like,
right?
What?
I don't understand because he has them on and off throughout the movie.
Right.
Like, sometimes it's like pink flesh eye with this like plastic over his eyes, and then other times it's like completely black. I didn't understand.
Like, they lost that prosthetic of the costume, right? Because
he like goes walking out after that and goes to the toy store for some reason, and he's like staring in the window, and I'm guessing he could see himself, or the dolls are laughing at him, and he just decides to break the window out, like, because they're all laughing, and they're all gonna laugh at you.
Oh.
Anyway,
it is bad.
I hope you guys are following along because this movie is really
all over the place. This movie is all over the place anyway.
So after that, the three bikers pull up to him. They're like, "Hey, what's up? What are you doing? This guy's walking around." And they don't realize that he's a fucking killer robot, nor does Carl himself know that he's a killer robot, really.
Well, then they say something like he's like a walking ATM, and he's like, well, let's go make a withdrawal.
Yeah. Such bad shit. But he's all like playing hide and seek with them, and he's like hiding from these bikers. And then one guy comes in with a chain because, you know, it's the 80s and everybody has a fucking chain.
Right.
Why have you ever been in a fight where somebody had a fucking chain like that?
Actually, when I was in high school.
There was one time, I guess, yeah. But like
there was
nothing ever came of it, but I just thought it was weird when my friend brought it. I was like, dude,
I had a wallet chain.
You got a fucking 80s chain?
And I definitely used my wallet chain in fights. Like, I mean, I had like a massive wallet chain.
I don't know. It just seems a little overdone. You know what I mean? Like, it's too 80s tropic.
Well, but why not?
But anyway, he's all hiding from them, and he kills the chain guy. He, like, grabs him and chucks him into a fucking pole. And I thought that was cool, because, like, he did it. It was, like, pretty intense. And then this other guy tries to stab him, and it breaks the knife. And then he crushes the other guy's head with, like, the third biker's head.
Yeah.
Because he can't prevent himself from stopping himself from fighting.
Don't hurt me no more.
Yeah. Why did you hurt me, Daddy? So then Carl goes back home and lets his wife know that he's still alive through the keyboards, by the way.
Yeah.
How is he communicating through that?
I don't know. He gets Wi-Fi, apparently. He's got Bluetooth or something.
It didn't even have Wi-Fi back then.
Who knows?
Maybe it was cell phone or something.
There we go. Cell phone reception.
Yeah, he just knew the frequency. One of the scientists is like talking to Alex White, the head guy, the business guy, the one that runs the project. And she walks, this part fucking, I was like, what the fuck? Jesus. She walks up to him and she's like, so what? I just don't understand what made him kill all those kids. And I'm like, wait, he didn't kill any kids. He killed like 3 bikers.
Oh, yeah. And
she like, he like slaps the shit out of her.
Yeah, like full on pimp smack.
He was like, and she's just like, you motherfucker, what the fuck? And he really slapped her in that movie, dude.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, it looked like it. Like it
definitely, yeah.
I mean, he was like, see, I attack you and you get angry. His onboard computer doesn't allow him to prevent him and his thoughts to keep him from fighting back. And I was like, what are you trying to say, dude? Like... And she's just like, oh, right.
I get it.
Right. She's like, and then she should have just jabbed him right in the fucking ding-dong. Like, that's what I would have done. Fuck slapping me. I don't care. I mean, like, you don't slap people. Like, fucking make a point.
Right.
But, he's a dickhead this whole fucking movie. So, Carl is, like, hiding out in a junkyard and playing with this kid who's, like, a starfighter. He's like, pew, pew, pew.
throwing rocks at him.
Yeah, he's, like, throwing rocks and bottles at the car he's in.
This is where I thought the movie was going to...
I thought they were going to crush the kid.
Yeah, me too. And I was hoping... I mean, sorry, I may be fucked up in the head, but I really want it to happen. Like...
Yeah, I mean, he deserved it.
That would have took the movie up a notch for me.
Right. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm fucked up. Like, I've already... Well, I mean, I think it just... all these years of, like, being destroyed by horror movies and, murdering people, things like...
Right.
Just kidding. If you're going to do it, you might as well crush a kid.
Take it to the limit, all right?
Yeah, crush a kid. Come on. Fucking crush him.
Well, like I was going to say, since you're on with this scene, like, the way that they shot... Like, because you remember, he's like, I can find a place for you to hide.
Yeah, and he goes and he throws the car over or whatever.
It looked pretty good.
Yeah, no, they did a good job. I didn't see any ropes or anything.
Right.
But they even made the kid go underneath. Mm-hmm. I was like, that's not safe. Like, don't make a kid go under a fucking car,
making
bro.
The kids, like, making the parents sign waivers and shit.
Yeah, like, if he dies, we'll pay you $3 million.
We'll pay you whatever the movie makes.
They're like, okay, Billy, run. Papa's going to get rich. They're like, kick out the tire. Kick out the tire. They're like, just fucking drop the fucking thing. Just pop it. Pop it. Pop that motherfucker. All right, I'll stop. So, after that little fucking popping kids thing...
Which they should have done.
I know. Catherine tries to... That was where Catherine tries to summon Carl's ghost, which we thought was funny. Then we have Massey, which I don't remember him as a lab guy. I guess he was one of the guys in the very beginning who was like, that helped save his life and make him Robo-Man. Frankenstein.
Oh, you're talking about the guy who's like...
Yeah, his name is Massey.
He's like, if you got a beautiful family... And he's like, oh, yeah, if you don't want them, I'll take them. Or something like that.
I don't remember. He was like the guy with the beard. He was like there's this...
Oh, I was thinking about the fat guy, his lab partner.
No, yeah. So there's Massey, this guy, he's one of the scientists, apparently. He's like at home, and...
oh, dude.
He just finished having sex with this girl, and he's like, now get out. And
after she does a massive line of coke.
Yeah, like, and then she's like visibly upset and says, "But I need cab fare." And he's like, "I'm not a fucking goddamn bank. Take a fucking bus." And the girl breaks some shit downstairs and runs out crying. And two guys stop her and he's like, "Let her go. She's a lousy fuck anyway." I'm like, Jesus Christ.
But dude, even better than that, like after he does that big rail of coke, he's like, intelligently, he's like, "I have some thinking to do."
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah. Well, that's what you do on coke. You know what I mean? Deep thoughts with coked out addicts. I don't know. This of course, this behavior of him being a dick to this girl doesn't go unpunished because he gets chucked out a window onto a car after begging for his life from Robostein.
I help save you.
I saved your life. And he's like, "You may be a monster." He fucking chucks him out the window. I thought that was funny. Apparently Carl, a.k.a. Robostein, I keep calling now, he hides down in the sewers and he's being hunted by none other than Hunter. Pam Grier, pretty much. Which the girl who ran out earlier, this was like a weird part from that guy who got thrown out the window. She like gets stabbed in the neck by Hunter and she dies.
Oh yeah, I thought that was
like, what the fuck was that all about? Weird. Like
she's
why?
Interviewing because she's a loose end.
Oh, she's covering the tracks.
Right. And I actually thought it was a cool scene.
They didn't really, yeah, I mean, it was okay. It's not a good scene.
No, but it was one of the memorable scenes of the movie.
Well, yeah, because you're completely baffled as to why. Like, that's how I felt.
Yeah. Well, I kind of figured, she's a hitman. Just, you saw some shit.
She's good. She's a cleanup woman.
Yeah.
Well, she goes into the sewers and some random workers down there talking about, "What are you doing down here? You need authorization." Yeah. And she's all like, "We're exterminating." And he's like, "Shit, I'm out of here, lady.
I'm the fuck
I'm gone." I thought that was so funny. Like, she let him live?
Right. Like,
because I guess they were exterminating. I don't know. But she gets attacked by Hunter, or Hunter gets attacked
by
no, that's right. Hunter is attacking. They have this like acid spitting thing that
yeah, because it's supposed to be like the suit's indestructible to anything, pretty much.
Right, but they have acid and they're like, "Pour it on this one spot, it'll kill him."
Right, and it was funny because when they were pointing at the spots, it just looked like they were pointing at his crotch.
Right, and they also like covered over the whole like water. It was water that they were spraying, but they like went back on top of the film and like added color over it so that it would look like yellow or something, or orange.
Yeah, it looked orange.
Yeah, it didn't look right, whatever it was.
Like it was Sunkissed or some shit they were spraying it.
Yeah, but it looked fake. Like it didn't look like.
Yeah, it didn't look like it was. That
it was like colored
out
on the fucking film negative or whatever. I don't forget what they call that. I'm just brain dead or something. But I thought that was kind of weird. And then he like freaks out in the sewers, right? And he like throwing his arms around. He's having like a mental robo breakdown.
Well, he actually sees his face again, and it's like you can't have two robo breakdowns, dude. You're a fucked up robot. Get over it,
Patrick. Man, how cold and callous do you have to be? This man's been through a lot.
Oh, fuck this guy. Grow some robot balls, all right?
There was this one part that really cracked me up after that part, though, because like they cut to these guys that are like casing and listening in on the fucking wife to make sure that he doesn't go back to her. So they're like listening to anything she's talking about, and like you hear like some chick talking over it, and she's like, and it says it's that Catherine chick, and she's like, "Excuse me, Captain, can you play something a little more cheerful, like the Death March?" And it was so like, I was like, wait, what? Did she say Death March? Cheerful? And then I was like, oh, they're making jokes.
Yeah, that's poorly delivered
I
lines.
get it. Ha ha ha. Heidi ho. It was a terrible joke, but it was funny, like, to me, because I thought it was an ill-intentioned. I was like, did they just throw that in there to see if we're paying attention? Because I'm losing track of this movie right now.
Yeah.
After that was when he reveals what he looks like under the mask.
Right.
Because they go to the church or whatever.
Well, there was like some kind of hidden because remember she was playing music and she heard something on the recording. And she played it back, and there was some kind of rhyme. I can't remember what the rhyme was, but it was like, "Meet on the church on 5th," or whatever.
Oh, that's right. She plays it. Play that record backwards. She does some fucking, like, sleuthing.
Right. So she goes to the church. And then you see the big reveal of his face, which was
really cool.
Really cool, yes.
Yeah. I really liked that. It was like this weird plastic encased brain and wired teeth underneath that were all mashed and fucked up.
Yeah.
It's like, man, that looks so cool. Like,
it reminded me of
I just wish that he was like a robot that would eat people or something, you know? Like, I don't know what it is, but I just want robots that tear people apart. Like, can we not have that in a fucking movie, please? Like, Death Machine did it, I think, but I just want it the whole time. It's just robots eating people. Like, and they're not even, like, processing the food. They just, like...
Just don't even give a fuck.
They
just rip you apart.
They just wear it like a hat.
Your blood is my lubrication.
Then they have Carl's lab buddy, Bert, who's, like, talking to Carl.
And is a total pedo.
Right, he is a little weird, but but before you find out, like, that he's, like, this bad guy, he's like, here, I'll leave you a note on the ground because I don't want to come near you. And then he's like, you're the best, Bert. I knew I could depend on you. And then he falls through the floor into this, like, vat of ice? I don't know what the fuck it was.
Some kind of resin that hardens.
Right. But it was like, they look like ice.
It did. It really did.
They like freeze Robo-Man, and he's like stuck in this thing, and then
becomes Encino Man.
Right, big old block of ice. But like Alex White, the sinister boss, tells Bert that he needs to kill the wife Lauren, and
that wasn't part of the deal.
And they kind of slowly edge right before this that he's like got a thing for her because she kisses him on the cheek, and he's all like,
Well, remember at the beginning of the film, he was like, if you ever get tired of your family or something, like, I'll take him.
Right.
He's like, sure. Like, who fucking says sure?
Right, yeah.
Like, what?
By the way, guys, if you want to watch this movie, you can find it on YouTube, but we talked about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was really weird. But anyway, it was like, you son of a bitch. You fucking piece of shit, Bert. And then he's like, that wasn't part of the deal. I don't want to kill Lauren because he loves her. And this is where Bert gets really dark.
Right. You're missing the scene, though. Like, this is...
Oh, go ahead.
Like, the scene, like, because after he gets hardened in this resin, load him in the truck, and they start taking him back to the ARC facility. And, like, I don't know how the fuck he's moving. And, like, we failed to mention that every time he's provoked, it's like his beeper goes off.
Oh, yeah,
and
that's right.
Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 and somehow he's moving, which they don't show movement at all. The thing just starts wobbling around and causing the truck to lose control, and eventually makes the truck veer off this highway.
It busts out the back of the truck.
Right.
And then it shakes the truck so much because it weighs so heavy.
Right.
That they blow up in the sky before it even goes off the ledge.
And it didn't even look like a truck. It literally looked like a flaming bag of trash. And it just it was like, come on.
All right, put some M80s in there, a couple of bananas, we're good.
Right. Throw in that dumpster and just launch it right off the edge
just
there.
Kick it out into the fucking, like, California ditch there.
But that's my no. Go ahead.
No. That was a really funny part. Now, this is where I got to get a little in depth here. So this is where the movie gets good. Okay, like these past few parts that you just saw, this is where it's like finally the movie
takes a kind of dark turn.
Right, like things are like actually kind of interesting now. So Bert tells Lauren that he loves her and that he'll be her child's father. And she's like, wait, what?
We go to somewhere where they won't ever find us.
Yeah, and then she's like, what happened to Carl? What happened to Carl? Carl! Carl! But she's like, she realizes there's something wrong, and he's like ordered to kill her, of course. So he gets all ultra creepy at this point, and he does a really good job of switching from like nice guy to bad guy. Like, I have to give him credit there, and that's probably why he was in so many movies. This wasn't a shining example of his career necessarily. It's probably
not by any means.
Yeah, this is the streak in his underwear, but still, he pulls
the little butt goblin.
Yeah, he pulls a gun. She pulls a gun on him, and they roll down the stairs, like, which look pretty tragic, actually. Because
dude, you gotta admit, dude, that's one of the parts I laughed hard on, where she tries to climb back up the stairs, and he's like pulling her down, just like ever slow. She's like,
yeah, and it looked like it was her, dude. Like, you kind of roughed her up. It was like a really uncomfortable situation, guys. Like, probably one of the more action-packed scenes too.
Right.
Which is really weird because we've seeing a robot get into a fight with a bunch of different people, and the best scene we've seen so far is this
fat guy trying to
creepy, rapey guy that's like fucking manhandling a woman, which is, you know, like I said, uncomfortable, but he does this like weird rapey thing where he like gets on top of her and he's all like trying to kiss her and shit and choke her out with a phone cord. I was like, ugh.
Like, why did you need the phone cord? Like, remember, then like the friend comes in, right?
It's just him trying to kiss her and shit. It was like, ugh.
Ew, yeah, it was really creep.
I was like, ew, this is not what I want to see right now. But yeah, the friend comes in. She's all like, oh, well, get a room or some shit, and then tackles him off her.
Right.
And then they help each other. But the funny part, this is the part that really makes me laugh, is like Catherine's like this hero for saving fucking Lauren, right? But what I don't understand is that they walk into the other room, literally 10, 15 feet away.
Oh, I know you're
and
going.
she's like, wait here, I'm going to go get the car. And then all of a sudden, bam, Hunter's there, snaps her neck in some really awkward looking.
Like, there's no way you'd be able to snap her neck.
Yeah,
like that.
She cracks it like 4 different ways, like, which is really weird.
She like pushes it back and then forward again. It's like that,
and then slides down the wall, looking at Lauren, because that was important to get done. And Catherine says, but the funny thing is, when she told her like to wait there, I'm gonna go get the car. Like, the first thing I'm thinking, I'm like, dude, there's a fucking rapey dude in the other room, 15 feet away. You didn't fucking crush his skull in.
You kicked him in the stomach a couple times.
Yeah, the dude's not dead. Like, get the fuck out of the house.
Or even knocked out.
Right. Like, I was like, what the fuck are you thinking? But anyway, after, you know, she snaps Catherine's neck, Lauren runs the opposite way and, like, gets Bert's fist, just punches her.
Dude, the punch was great.
It's not like we get off on this kind of shit, guys, but just, like, as ridiculous as this movie is, it's not to be taken too seriously.
Right.
But it was funny. She like, practically runs into Bert's fist and then gets knocked the fuck out. I was like, go damn. But anyway, Hunter goes on about nice and clean. I'm like, she's like, that's it, nice and clean. I'm like, nice and clean would not have been killing somebody, like in their living room, and had a tussle on the ground and like wrapped a phone cord around people's necks, rolled down the stairs. There was obviously a struggle. Like, that's not nice and clean. Okay, Pam Grier. Like, I don't know what you're thinking. So Bert has got to take off the bodies to like the river or something, right?
Yeah, it's just there's a lake behind the house, and he's like, give me an idea. I don't know what to do.
She's like, well, if I was smart, I would do. And he's like, oh, there you go, take that idea. And then he runs off. But like, Lauren's waking up as he's about to drive off, and then runs literally car first into Carl, who then pushes the car back.
Like a trash compactor, dude.
Right.
Oh, it was so good.
It was pretty cool, like, what they did. Like, I don't know how they did the car like that, but it was cool.
And they did a lot of good practical effects in this movie like that, as far as the staging goes.
Mm-hmm. I probably wonder if it's like, I don't know if you remember Christine. Did you watch that movie with us?
Oh, yeah.
When they did the car, like, it was like the dents came out of it. They probably used the same material that made it like...
Yeah.
Bendable, like it's like they can form some sort of aluminum or something.
Maybe.
Because he like crushes it so easily.
Dude, it looked good. It looked authentic.
Right, and then he pushes the car back and there's like dead Catherine in the seat on his lap. And Bert's like getting fucking crushed by this car, and he's like screaming with a little bit of blood coming out of his eye.
But it almost looked like he pulled her into his lap. Like, I don't even know what the fuck that was about.
Yeah.
That was weird.
She was like, I mean, like, she was sitting on the seat. Like, I don't know. It didn't make any sense. But it was cool he got crushed.
Yeah, it's definitely...
That's the unique kill in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
In my opinion. But of course, they hold Lauren hostage to make Carl do White's bidding. And Hunter makes a deal with Carl to get out of the situation, but throws Lauren at him, which means it should have made him to auto-kill because his programming, but apparently he reprogrammed himself.
Oh, shit. And that scene was I actually kind of like that scene. It's like, oh, I seen how you kill. It's messy. And she just fucking blows her own brains out.
Yeah, like, what the fuck? Like,
it was
calm
good.
down.
Like, you were a true samurai falling on your sword.
And this is the other thing. After that happens, they go back to the main lab to fight Alex or whatever, or stop him or what. I don't know what they're doing really. But I think they go back to the lab, and then of course that head guy is actually now a robot. Is that what it was?
Yeah, he had the whole gear on and shit.
But he wasn't like, he'd like kept parts of him.
Right.
Okay. So he had the gear on. He wasn't a full robot.
No.
Oh, okay. See, I wasn't understanding that. I didn't understand. I just know that there was like 2 other robot guys, and like they have like Carl and Alex have the stupidest fight in this fucking movie. By the way,
they do.
It was really terrible for 2 robots to fight or whatever.
That kind of goes back into what I'm saying about the practical effects that they did do as far as the scenery. Like when they're fighting and they're tearing the place apart, it looked like real steel. You know what I'm saying? Like when they ripped the stairs down, and it looked good.
Okay, but the fight was dumb, right?
It was dumb as shit.
Okay,
but as far as the destruction they were doing to the set, looked real.
Yeah, but they were just like too focused on that and not enough on the actual fighting part.
Right.
Because it looked like 2 dudes who weren't really trying to fight.
Right. It was like you fucking around with your best friend or something when you're drawing.
Yeah. Like, all right, you're ready to go into this. We're going to throw you into this. Like, be careful. Okay, hold on, Bob. You ready, Bob? Yeah, let's do this. You know, and it's like, me. But everything's being destroyed around them.
Timesies.
Yeah. Oh, you hurt my ankles.
Cocoa break.
BB. Anyway, so like basically, to make a long story short, Alex gets his suit filled with like robot blood and drowns, I guess, right?
Right. With whatever they were using. It was like
Carl jams it into his little fucking suit hole, and then it fills it up, and he's like...
It was like some kind of oxidizing thing that had oxygen in it that would feed oxygen to the brain so it would be able to operate.
That was his blood.
Right. Mm-hmm. But he wasn't full robot, so he didn't really need it, so he ended up drowning in it.
Right. What did you think about the very end of that, though? Like, the end of the movie.
Like, the end?
Yeah. Like, they don't explain. They just said he was hurt. Like,
right.
Carl was hurt, and he was bleeding all his white shit out, which he was in the lab with all the white shit that he could ever want.
I think what they should have did, because to me, it sounded like they ended up sending him to Mars, and he was... the first guy.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, like that's why he was a hero.
And this kid's like holding this woman's hand. You don't know who they are at first. And it's like they're at the ARC lab. They're like, and that's how this and this happened. And that's how these suits were made. And then this little kid's like, is he a hero, mommy? And she's like, yeah, he was.
In my opinion, they could have did that scene. It should have just ended right there. And they should have just shown him like maybe halfway through the credits on Mars. You know what I'm saying? Like doing shit.
Right. Like I was like, is his rotting corpse just in that suit? I mean, somebody had to go in there with a spoon or a fucking toothbrush or something to
clean out. And how did they have the suit if they sent him to Mars? Like, there's so many plot holes at the end.
He died on Mars, but he came back somehow because he's a robot. Calm down, Patrick.
Right.
Fucking
Sorry.
Jesus.
Taking it too serious.
I'm kidding. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. I know we've kind of gone on and on about these movies. I'll have a lot to edit out, probably.
Probably.
But,
more than likely.
I hope this one was a little bit more coherent than our Child's Play episode for me. Anyway, Patrick was fine. That's it for our Robot Mayhem episode here of Chopping Mall. And, of course, The Vindicator. Both from 1986. So just as a reminder, you can check out Chopping Mall on Shudder. You can also check out The Vindicator 86 on YouTube. So if you're interested in watching either of those, you can check them out.
Chopping Mall is also on Prime if you're a Prime member.
Oh, that's right. It is on both places at once, isn't it?
It is.
I forgot about that. I saw that, but I think one of them's HD and one of them isn't.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
So, I mean, the HD one is on Shudder.
Okay.
But I didn't know which one to pick because I remember going, this one, I guess?
Sure.
I was like, okay, this one's the 1080p one. But anyway, if you guys want to check it out, have you seen these movies? Have you heard of the ones we're talking about? Did you think the same thing that we did? Do you disagree? Are we complete assholes? Did we ruin your childhood? Let us know in the comments down below. But other than that, we'll be back next week with a new movie called Midsommar. So stick around for that. We'll probably have a lot of thoughts to unpack with that one. So
yeah.
That one's going to be some heavy fucking shit, I bet, guys. So I hope you guys have a great rest of the week. And
long live the void!